Alright, I guess we're here. It's over. It's done. The magical 2023 Miami Heat playoff run has officially come to its conclusion. The Miami Heat, my team, a franchise built on things like its rich history, its standout development and training when comparing to the rest of the NBA, and of course, its constantly talked about Heat culture. They now currently stand at a crossroad of opportunity as they enter such a pivotal 2023 offseason in hopes of achieving their fourth NBA title. Of course, with their foundation built on resilience and commitment to excellence, they always have one goal in mind, always bringing home another championship to the beautiful city of Miami. As we embark on this journey of strategic planning and offseason work, we'll witness some of basketball's most brilliant minds and NBA's best work together, from Pat Riley to Eric Spoelstra to their entire front office, ownership, Mickey Arison, to even the players like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, our leaders. Everyone will come together and truly realize what they have to do to bring home this next championship. From their iconic Heat culture to their unwavering commitment to teamwork, they have to achieve another championship for 305. No other option. They definitely have now officially established themselves as a force to be reckoned with, making it all the way to the finals this year, and you best believe that they're not going anywhere. In this video, we'll analyze the team's current roster, evaluate some potential trade scenarios, and examine the free agency landscape. We'll navigate through some intricacies in the salary cap. We'll explore how the Heat can maximize their resources to truly build this championship caliber roster going into next season. So whether you're a devoted Heat fan like me, just a basketball enthusiast in general, or just simply intrigued by the art of team building or off-season work, or just wanting to learn something about the Heat basketball organization, or what at least I think they should do going on into this offseason, this video definitely sounds like it's for you. Keep in mind that everything said in this video is entirely opinion-based, and that it's no one else's opinion besides from just a die-hard Heat fan that wants to see their team achieve greatness again. And fuck it, man, I just want to have Jimmy Butler finally get his ring. God damn it, he deserves it. So basically, my opinion is exact, final, and will help this team achieve success. Seriously. Okay, maybe not seriously, but honestly, if you guys do disagree with me or with anything in this video, let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. Let me know how you guys think, what you think will help the Heat get their chip, and yeah, what you think that they should do moving on into this offseason. To start out this video, first off, I definitely want to give both Nikola Jokic and the rest of the entire Denver Nuggets organization a huge round of applause. Give them their flowers, give them their chocolates. You guys deserve it, man, because honestly, I didn't think that they would be the team to do it. Not saying that they wouldn't be the team to beat the Heat in their amazing magical run that they went on, but I'm more saying that they weren't going to be the team, at least they weren't my favorites, to win the championship going into the playoffs, because shit, I didn't even have faith in my own team. Because, come on, honestly, looking back at the end of the regular season, after losing some crucial and definitely winnable games that we should have won to help our seeding late in the season, like losing 14 to the Bulls or losing 3 in a row to the Nets, Raptors, and Knicks, all in-conference rivals, by all 10-plus points, 29 points to the Nets, and then to lose another 6-point game to the Washington Wizards at the second-to-last game of the season, where at that time, it was, a team full of G League players like Corey Kispert and Daniel Gafford and Jordan Davis, someone who legitimately is one of the biggest draft busts in one of the recent draft classes. And to lose that game while we were the 7th seed at the time, still trying to be the 6th seed, get the better seeding positioning, we were still competing with a full roster of guys, and to lose that game, man, it just wasn't going to look good. Like, I just didn't have the most faith in my team, I cannot lie. And then we go into the play-in where I'm thinking, okay, well, let's just beat Trae Young, go against the Celtics, try our hardest. We then lose. We lose to fucking Trae Young, DeJounte Murray's trash ass. Like, all I've ever seen him do is bounce some basketballs off of some kids in Seattle during some high school, I swear it looked like a high school basketball tournament where he brought up Paolo Banchero, the rookie at the time, and just went crazy. I haven't seen him do anything since. And then seeing people like Sadiq Bey and Onyeka Okongwu and Bogdanovic and shit, man, I will never forget letting Clint Capella grab 21 rebounds the way he did. Made Bam Adebayo look like an infant child. Had 12 points, only 9 rebounds, shooting 5 of 12. He played 41 minutes that game. He played 41 minutes and got absolutely babied by Clint Capella. Clint Capella officially sunned him that game. He went back to Edris. He's no more Bam. He is officially his government name, Edris, for that game. And then on top of that, Tyler Hero has 26. Kyle Lowry has probably a season high of 33. And we still lose to that Q-tip with a jumper and Trae Young. It made no sense. So again, just my faith for the team was at an all-time low. And then we go into the next game to go against the Bulls to just maybe go in as the 8th seed. And we had to rely on Strus to have his best game of his entire season. Drop 31 alongside Jimmy Butler to barely beat them by I think like 10, 11 points. And again, we get another dumpster fire game from Bam. He shoots 1 for 9, only 8 points. And yes, he had 17 rebounds, fixing the issues from the game prior. But you play 37 minutes of a pro basketball game, and you only make 1 bucket, 1 basket, being an all-star caliber big man. Man, I was scared going into these playoffs. And then knowing that the first round we had to go against the big bad of the East, the Bucks. Man, I'm not going to lie. My hopes were already looking forward to this offseason. But then, of course, the dogs came to play. But, okay. I'll get into that in a second. With that being said, though, I definitely overlooked the greatness of that 284-pound man, 6'11", horse-loving Serbian, Nikola Jokic. Him alongside Murray, who, God, I hope is getting... If you know, you know. I really hope that they're getting everything they want this postseason because, man, they really just blew out the West in a way that nobody really imagined. And while everyone's saying that, yeah, they've had this low-seed matchup journey throughout the West, if you actually break it down piece by piece, man, it's actually insane. Yes, they beat the 8-seed Timberwolves, but is nobody remembering that this was the offseason where they do one of their biggest offseason moves in their franchise history, going to get Rudy Gobert for pretty much their entire future to go alongside Cat to be their 2 big men, to be this new way of playing basketball down in Minnesota? And then to match that, and then to match 2 amazing big men next to Anthony Edwards, an absolute dog. And then they proceeded to just gentleman sweep them. That should not be overlooked. And then they go on to play against the Phoenix Suns, the 4 seed, who they just got Kevin fucking Durant to go alongside Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and one of the best coaches in the league. And then, yes, they beat them in 6, but for the people who actually watched it, it really just felt like another gentleman's sweep. Because honestly, the Nuggets looked like that they were just taking some time off. Like, in Game 4, yes, Jokic dropped 30, 17, and 17. And Jokic dropped 53 in Game 5. But once they realized that it really just takes 2 A++ performances from both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant to even have a chance of getting a dub because of their defense being so bad. Once they figured that out, man, it was all they wrote. They got games 5 and 6 so easily, both with commanding victories with 15+ points. And then to move on to the Western Conference, they had to go against the Lakers. And yes, they were the 7th seed, but no one is really remembering how dominant the Lakers were post All-Star game, being one of the top 3 records in the West. They beat Ja Wick and his shooters round 1. Round 2, they go against Steph Curry, the defending champs, and beat Steph as he's playing as the best player in the world. And then to put LeBron in another position to be 1 series away from competing for his 5th ring to further cement him as the GOAT, or to help him in that debate at least. And then for the Nuggets to go in and just completely sweep them, not even give them a game, was just baffling. Could not believe it. And then to go into the finals and beat my Heat, who just took out the number 1 seed Giannis, the Knicks, Celtics, and all of the East's best competition, And then to go and beat my Heat out in the East after beating Giannis and the Bucks, the number 1 seed, the Knicks, the Celtics, all the East best competition, with to also beat the great ownership of Pat Riley, the coaching of Spoelstra, the leadership of Jimmy Butler, and the entire team following in one strong culture, and then to beat us in 5, to finish with a final record of 16-4, just wow, man. Congrats. And another specific congratulations to Jokic again, because just, man, first ever player to lead the playoffs in points, assists, rebounds, averaging 31, 13, and 10. Shooting 54 from the field, 43. I think it was like 48 from three-pointer. And absolutely turning some bona fide casuals on their team into this championship roster. Like, other than Jamal Murray, that entire team is a bunch of just players that, if it wasn't for Jokic spoon-feeding them golden shooting opportunities from his amazing passing, being one of the best, if not the best, big man passer of all time. Like, the way that Jokic can draw in defenders, being 7 feet tall, almost 300 pounds, and just be able to get pinpoint accuracy to knock down people like Michael Porter Jr., KCP, Aaron Gordon, giving them these wide open shots because he either just threads the needle or picks out the double team to hit the open man. It just baffled me. Just absolute dominance from this Serbian freak. Just go enjoy your horses, big man. You definitely deserve it. You deserve it, man. But this is a Nuggets video. I'm a Heat fan. So let's get back to the regular schedule program. As I said earlier, I had little expectations going into this playoffs. But as bad as it sounds, which I know I'm not ever in a million years wishing for a player to get injured, but the moment that Giannis went down in that Bucks series, I knew that Jimmy Butler would have that dog in him and do what he needed to do to get that job done in the way that he did. Because, man, he averaged 37.6 points against the Bucks, higher than anyone else in the first round of the entire NBA. Proceeds to drop 56 and 42 back-to-back games, with Giannis being back from injury in games 4 and 5, and hits one of the greatest shots that I've ever seen in the playoffs. I swear on everything. That shot that he hit from the Gabe Vincent out of bounds, where he's practically horizontal, like he's completely horizontal. I have no idea how he has the composure to put that shot back up with the little amount of time that he had to put us in the position to win. Like, I just, mind blowing. To then go on to the next series against the Knicks, man, Josh Hart, I can't believe that you had to be the one to hurt Jimmy, because going into that series, you really were the only New York Knick that I liked. But you're officially forever on my hit list hurting him like that, because, man, it was evident. It definitely hurt him in that series and probably had some sort of lingering effects throughout the playoffs, even if he says he didn't. But finally, other teammates like Lowry, Vincent, Strus, and even partially Bam finally came to help Jimmy, so we didn't have to drop that 35-plus points a game, and we finally got the wins that we needed to take care of the Knickerbockers. And, of course, Eric Spoelstra completely out masterclass the Knicks coach, just doing circles around game planning for RJ and Julius and Emmanuel Quickly. Just absolutely locked them up and made it for pretty much every other Knick besides Jalen Brunson to just absolutely get bitched, man. I just love it. I love it as a Heat fan. Like, literally, Jimmy Butler absolutely sunned Josh Hart, making him practically either foul out every single game or just put him in this sort of foul trouble that just, for someone so valuable to that second team, to that secondary team on the Knicks, for him to just not be a part of the game, truly a masterclass by Jimmy. And then the Celtics. Fuck, I thought that was definitely going to be our hardest challenge. Like, I'm not going to lie, going into it, I'm a realist. I was thinking, man, Celtics in 7, Heat in 7, it's going to go hard, it's going to be fought. Shit, the Celtics could even beat us in 6 if we don't actually play. If we go back to the regular season, we're going to be out. Like, regular season form, there's no way we can compete with that depth. And then we go up 3-0. I truly thought that Jimmy Butler had to have injected some sort of Michael Jordan genes inside of his body. And shit, I thought that Caleb Martin officially became the Batman to this team. You know, because, man, fuck it. Not even Batman. he became Nightwing on the Celtics. Like, he truly went off in a way that I just could have never predicted. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then Jaylen Brown, of course, has to say, "Don't let us get one." And of course, we don't let them only get one. No, fuck it, we let them get 3. Tie that shit back up with Derek White's pushback hairline hitting a 0.1 layup putback to let them win the game. Like, I remember being broken after that game. To now have to go back into TD Bank, to go back into that arena in Boston. I've never been so nervous going into any game in my life. Because think about it. You go back to like the Ray Allen shot in the most recent Heat finals. I was just young. Like, I really didn't understand the severity of it in the time like I do now. We haven't been in any sort of position where we're about to let the Boston Celtics be the first team ever to come back from a 3-0 deficit against the Heat. Like, the Heat, the team surrounded by culture and winning and success. Like, it just wasn't making sense. So I was just sweating, nervous, couldn't sleep. I was a wreck going into that game. And then we fucking owned them. Like, it was one of the best feelings that I ever had, just knowing that we took away another finals appearance from the Celtics and just didn't allow them to always hold that over our head, man. Because I just didn't want this entire amazing playoff run to be undermined by the fact that we blew a 3-0 lead, because that team is just so good, and I'm just so glad that we won in the way we did, proving again that against all adversity, we won it in their house, made all those Bostonians just cry, man, took out their soul. It was awesome. So going into the finals, yes, I knew not to underestimate the Nuggets, being that they just swept Bron and barely are losing games and are on a 12-3 run going into the finals. Yes, I thought that the Heat, I'm a little greedy now going into the finals. I thought we could maybe get 2 games. But shit, I'll take the 1 we got off of them. I'll take it. Which pretty much leaves us here. The offseason. Going into this offseason, there definitely is a lot to think about as a Heat fan. Because first and foremost, you obviously want to congratulate them for their playoff achievement, being that Miami was the first 8 seed to make the finals since the New York Knicks back in 1999. And they were also the first team to come out of the play-in tournament to go that deep of a run. So the odds were definitely improbable, to say the least. And yet, the Heat were still able to reach this point again after being in such an up-and-down regular season. And I don't know if anyone else saw this, but the Vegas odds having us at some incredibly crazy odds to win the finals. And the fact that we got there is crazy. Like, they were saying that we had worse odds of making it to the finals than Team USA winning the last World Cup and the Houston Texans winning the previous Super Bowl. 2 things that in a million years, I promise you, would have never happened in those previous World Cup and NFL seasons. So we definitely made those odds look foolish. And in doing so in this run, the Heat were, as I said earlier, able to pack away the Bucks, Celtics, and Knicks, arguably their 3 greatest in-conference rivals, unless you obviously throw in Philadelphia. And during they had amazing moments, like, as I said earlier, the 56-point masterclass performance from Jimmy Butler that will go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, single-game performance in Heat history, while making Jrue Holiday look literally lost, as he's one of the league's best defenders in the entire league. And on top of that, we had all of our undrafted guys step up, do what they had to do, show that they were battle-tested, ready, that they weren't going to let that undrafted title that constantly is being thrown around play any part into how they play into these playoffs. And also, of course, Caleb Martin made a name for himself alongside Jimmy Butler in the Eastern Conference Finals, and shit, in my opinion, he really should have won that Eastern Conference Finals MVP. But with that being said, as a Heat fan, there are mixed emotions. Yes, first, I'm kind of angry how Game 5 of the finals played out. I remember that Jimmy Butler just kept saying, promise, man, like, I got it. We're going to get us there. We will win this. And I believed him, man. He got us this far. Why not believe him? But 21 points, shooting 5 for 18 shooting in an elimination game just isn't going to cut it, bro. Especially whenever the team needs scoring. Like, the team needs scoring, and you're supposed to be that guy. And I know you're not going to make excuses for yourself with your ankle injury, and you're just going to own it because that's really all you can do. But you played poorly, and he knows it. And in a Game 5 loss, where we just lost and we needed that star to come on top to get us over that hump, because everyone else really kind of showed up, besides, I guess, Gabe and Strus. It was just sad. And yes, a lot of this could be due to the reports going around on his dad's critical health state. I saw a report from Skip Bayless as well as other reporters saying that his dad isn't well at the time of the start of the playoffs, further hinting that he's been in some sort of critical health concerns, which definitely could both be a factor for him being distracted and not emotionally capable to just be in that locked in finals mindset. And of course, anytime you ask him about the ankle injury, he's going to deny it, and no one will bring up the dad stuff because, again, why would you with his extensive family history? And on top of being angry from Game 5, I'm honestly kind of sad because we're not going to see more battles between Jokic and Bam. And I know that that's crazy because I normally am not the biggest Bam supporter, but coming off of a not great playoff run, he was the best player in that finals in my opinion, and he definitely every day went in with this sort of offensive aggression that I just really hadn't seen throughout the finals. Yes, he took some middies, he took a couple faders, a couple bunny hop shots that he thinks he can knock down at a consistent rate, but he really did show out and show that he could be that guy for us in a setting like the finals. So that was just great to see. So the fact that Jimmy couldn't be alongside him and we're not going to see more of that Bam stuff, it's just a little sad. Like, Miami's defense did all they could to stop Denver, but slowing their points down for 100 possessions per. Jokic and Bam, like, Bam on Jokic was some of Jokic's worst offensive performancing throughout the playoffs, and the exact opposite way around for Bam on Jokic. Bam was having some of the best offensive games throughout the playoffs, and it just wasn't reciprocated from Jokic, just proving that Bam can really be not in that Jokic and Embiid level, but man, he is definitely in that conversation constantly for being one of the league's top big men. And of course, on top of not being able to see Bam flourish in a spot like that, I'm also just sad because we're most likely never going to see this iteration of the Miami Heat again. Butler said it best after the game that this group deserves a shot at the finals. This group. So it's sad that we're probably not going to get to see this group again. Gabe Vincent and Max Strus both will be free agents this offseason, and with Miami pushing the cap, it's not sure where they both will return. And of course, Gabe Vincent had the terrific playoff run, so he most likely will get paid by another team unless he wants the lesser signing from us. And of course, with rumors swirling around Damian Lillard and other offseason wishes for additional star power, this version of the Heat, it's just seeming like it's going to be over if they want to really compete for this next championship contention, even though it's been such one hell of a run with these guys. You know, to make it to the conference finals 3 out of the last 4 times, winning the conference twice. Nobody ever thought that the Miami Heat would make it with these guys that, to be fair, the rest of the Heat just didn't want. And despite the rough ending, salute to the Miami Heat for one of the greatest playoff runs that I've personally ever seen. And, man, let's hopefully get that job done next year. And when thinking about how we can get that next year, we first got to think about big picture scenario. And after watching 82 games of the regular season and every single minute of these NBA playoffs, I just really got to start with, where did the Heat struggle? And instantly my mind goes to 2 places. Get additional help from a big man to help Bam, and get another legitimate scoring option to go alongside Jimmy Butler. Those 2 things must be the main 2 priorities going on in this offseason. And yes, I see what Spo and Pat were trying to do, making Tyler Hero that scoring option, and by getting veterans like Kevin Love and Cody Zeller to give us size and experience. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough and isn't going to be enough to get the job done. The Heat need to get Bam some help. He can't be the only legitimate big man on the floor, being that he's already undersized, being only 6'9" with a 7'2" wingspan. And they need to get Jimmy Butler some help scoring, man. because he can't just have to take over every single game in order to get us a win. And as seen through this duffel bag of a carrying of a playoff run, it just isn't sustainable because A, he's either going to get injured easy, or B, he's going to just run out of energy too quickly and just become a no-show for the game. Or C, worst case scenario, both. He gets injured and runs out of energy. So going on to this offseason, we need to lock down that primary and keyword dependable scoring option, and of course, another legitimately competent big man to help Bam. So now knowing what we need, now let's look at what we have and also what we need to keep. Going into next season, the Heat will have Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, Lowry, Martin, Jovic, Yurtseven, Oladipo on an expiring player option of $9.5 million, and also options of retaining Highsmith, Love, and Zeller. With that being said, both Strus and Vincent have chances of testing the free agency. And while they served their time and helped at the end of the season and in the playoffs, I do believe that we let Highsmith, Love, and Zeller leave unless we can retain them for absolute minimums, and also somehow we are unable to find other attainable options to help better the roster in the offseason. But with that being said, I do think that it should be a Heat's priority to re-sign Vincent for a 3-year contract, continue that development, as it's really only proven to be a benefit for this team, as he's really gotten us out of some hard times throughout the playoffs and regular seasons, and really only was a no-show during the finals. And he really just does have that dog mentality that matches the Heat culture. And then for Strus, obviously we can give him some sort of bag, not necessarily a huge one as we might want to spend money elsewhere, but we can give him something. If he comes back, great. But if he chooses to sign a bigger bag elsewhere, completely understandable. But development-wise, I really do hope that we can land Vincent to bring him back to develop alongside Caleb Martin to become our prominent side roles alongside Bam and Jimmy, who obviously will develop as planned. Hopefully Bam can knock down that middle jumper with those bunny hops that he will miss from time to time and really open up his confidence in attacking the basket, because man, when he's an aggressive Bam attacking the basket, it really does show how great he can be, as per example in the finals. So with that needing to happen, now let's focus on what the Heat actually now should and would be willing to give up going on into this offseason. First and foremost, the only real untouchables are, of course, Jimmy and Bam, even though Bam has always been a questionable untouchable in my own personal opinion. But I understand that Pat Riley has a different feeling towards Bam, so unless Pat Riley comes out and publicly says a different opinion on Bam, I'm not going to think any differently on that. But I really do hope that the Heat plan on keeping Caleb Martin, not trying to deal him anywhere, and end up re-signing and also keeping Gabe Vincent, as they really have proven to be exactly what this culture needs, matching our intensity, our drive for a championship, and really showing up in big moments whenever other people don't expect them to. So that pretty much leaves us with Hero, Lowry, Strus if we re-sign him, Jovic, Yurtseven, and a bunch of picks that we can deal out. And as of right now, as stated earlier, the Miami Heat have 8 players guaranteed on contracts and 1 player on a non-guaranteed deal, being Haywood Highsmith, someone who we probably could exercise for a cheap under $2 million contract that we may do for some bench depth, but it's not going to be too main of a priority going on into this offseason. The Heat own both Strus and Vincent's birds rights, so they could theoretically sign them to any amount without cap space, so obviously they're not going to willingly give away them to whoever they want, but they are eligible per se to get that extension somewhere else. But retaining Vincent likely would be their main priority of the two and should be their biggest retaining signing going on into this offseason. The Heat have not been afraid to trade their first round selections in the past. With that being said, Nikola Jovic, their first round pick, most recent first round pick, is a great position to be moved, and also they have their 18th overall pick of this upcoming draft that they also could move. Though if the right player comes available, don't be surprised if we pair both of them alongside our future first round picks like in 2028, 2029, 2030, as well as some second round picks in 2026 and 2029. But we've also seen them, find dudes outside of the draft. They kind of have this whole undrafted thing, even though it's, never talked about, never seen a storyline about the Heat's undrafted players. Whatever. But yeah, I don't really know. I definitely know that the Heat should look for moving Hero, Lowry, Duncan, and their young talent alongside draft picks as a first and foremost whenever trying to look for that next star and piece for a championship contention. So now when focusing on matching players with our needs, one name continues to circulate the Heat's market. The big whale, Damian Lillard. I can't believe that Bradley Beal was dealt to the Suns, as I really did think that he was a viable option for the Heat to go for. He's the only player in the entire NBA to have a no-trade clause. Not Giannis, not Curry, not LeBron, Bradley Beal. And I really thought that he would have wanted to join Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, the team to, prove development, prove winning, and really did prove to be one scoring option away from being a true title contender. But whatever, he went to go join Kevin Durant in his 15th super team in Phoenix. Best to you. But according to Chris Haynes and other reports, the Heat front office are still set on this being the summer that Damian Lillard finally requests offseason movement. So let's see how sticking with the player that has yet to request a trade over pursuing the player that is currently available, let's see how that plays out. Please, Damian, we're birthday twins. For real, same birthday. We got to have some sort of connection. Do me the solid, man. Please leave Portland. Whatever. The Heat can currently deal their 18th overall pick, 2 unprotected first-round picks in 2027, 2029 to Portland in potential to trade for Damian Lillard. And also, they can send a pick swap in 2028. And they also could pair with our 2 second-round picks in 2026 and 2029 if we have to. And obviously, we would pair those picks alongside with Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, and most likely Nikola Jovic, our 2023 first-round draft pick. And shit, Dame's obviously already said that if he could go anywhere, he would want to go to Miami or Brooklyn because he said that he's dogs with Bam. So why not already pursue that? We need Pat Riley to go into Portland. We need him to pull out the jewelry. We need him to absolutely sweep him off his feet and make him understand that by joining the Miami Heat, this will be the way for him to finally get his ring. He's not going to do it in Portland. The organization just hasn't given him what he needs to get that championship that he deserves. And just show him, plain and simple, that the Heat have what he needs. And it's obvious that our team wants him because there's already videos of Jimmy Butler in off-season workout videos shooting shots, screaming out Dame time, already trying to recruit. So finding a loyal player like Damian Lillard that can score by any means fits right into the player that Pat Riley and the Miami Heat are drooling their mouths for, And when looking at the rest of the options in this offseason that we can get, when we look at people like Fred VanVleet, I just don't think that that's enough for this championship contention, as he's just undersized and isn't even at the peak of his game. He's gone through extended shooting struggles throughout this past season, and I just don't think that he's dependable enough for that 25 plus point game that we need. And then looking at other people, like for example like Kyrie, yes, we had reports that we try to pursue him with Tyler Hero prior to him being a Maverick, but with his multitude of off-court issues and injury problems and his involvement with all that practically magical voodoo shit, and I just don't see him being, again, keyword dependable. We need that dependable scorer, and I just don't think that he could be that guy. And then, we could look at like James Harden or Trae Young, but those are 2 people that, again, have now been proven to not be that playoff guy that you need to get you to the finals. They just aren't that guy, James Harden, Mr. never wants a ring, how is he going to match perfectly with the team that is so obsessed with getting a ring? And I'm sorry, Q-Tip with a jumper is also not going to be our answer. So, other than that, there's not too many viable rumored options that could really set us up for that prime scoring option other than Dame Time from Portland. So, we're going to need, again, that same magic that Pat Riley did to get Bron and Bosh, both in Miami, dust off the jewelry, explain the situation, and get it done. Because if not, we're going to be in a situation where we're going to now have to rely on Tyler Hero development first and foremost, and go and hone on a better big man, I guess. But there's not even that many big men in the market right now that could be a viable option for us, you know? Because yes, Brook Lopez, great option, but he's not really movable right now. I don't think the Bucks want to move him. And then we could go for Kristaps, but they just lost Bradley Beal. I don't think that they're also going to want to get rid of Kristaps. And same thing with Vucevic. The Bulls aren't moving Vucevic. There are now, the rumors are all around moving Levine. And yes, Rui Hachimura, but I don't even think that that's worth it either. So now we're pretty much going to be in this position where we're going to have to move around people like Duncan and Yurtseven and Picks to try and go and get maybe a center like a Jakob Poeltl or a Mitchell Robinson, for example, where we can trade them for this plethora of picks and young players plus Duncan to match the contract. Or we go after a cheaper big like a Naz Reid or a Thomas Bryant or a Mo Wagner to try and fill in that big man role. Or shit, we could even bring up Yurtseven, the 2-year project, finally get that 7-foot Turkish man out on the court and go and spend some money to get some other reliable 3-and-D players that we can help give a variety of scoring options off of our bench to help replace that Duncan and Strus combo that really isn't that reliable other than, you know, stepping up here and there, giving glimmers of shine sporadically throughout the season and playoffs. But you know, if somehow we can't get Damian Lillard or a type of star of that caliber, we really then would have to rely on, you know, another offseason of hero development in hopes that he will become that 25 plus point scoring option. And we just would have to rely on us locking down some sort of big man to go alongside Bam by any means. And we just have to lock down whatever plan, no matter if it's spending or developing. There has to be some sort of option in plan for that. But yeah, there isn't really a set answer, being that Damian Lillard won't say whether or not he wants to leave Portland. But I think Pat Riley, Spoelstra, and the entire organization understand what needs to be done going into this offseason. I'm going to send another big prayer out to Damian Lillard. Please hear me, birthday twin. You have to just understand how good, how well it will help your career. You have to understand that this is what is best for you. And shit, let's just hope for the best that he understands. So yeah, I really don't have an exact answer. I really don't know exactly what we're going to do, being that Damian Lillard hasn't requested a trade and the Trailblazers are still saying that they have no intention on moving him. But I do think that Pat Riley and Spoelstra and the entire Heat organization understand collectively what they have to do this offseason in order to put themselves in a better position to win a championship, because they saw the regular season struggles and they saw even the playoff struggles where we came short, what we needed to improve upon. So let's hope that we can go do the Dame sweepstakes, but if not, still do the proper things of finding some sort of scoring variety, getting that big man to help Bam, and just putting us in true contention for that next championship for the city of Miami. I just hope for the best. And please, Dame, birthday twin, come on, man. Think. Why are you in Portland? Why are you not in Miami? Simple as that, man. Whatever. Alright, well, Let me know how you guys feel about this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think the Heat should do. If you agree, disagree with any of my opinions. Let me know what you think the Heat are going to do, what they shouldn't do. And yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.